I am Ashley with Journey Employer Solutions, and today we're going to go over understanding year-end reports. It's that fun time of year where CPAs are going to start asking for certain reports and numbers from reports, and so this will be a good overview for you guys to kind of see where you can get them and how you get them, and any other questions that you guys might have. So we'll go ahead and jump right in here. And thank you, Miss Candace, for letting me know that everybody can hear me now. Okay, so your year-end reports contain all of the really fun information that that you'll need as far as totals, employee totals, company totals, federal, state, all that fun stuff that the people are going to start asking for. 940s, 941s, your employer copy of the W-2s, your W-3, and so many more are included in your year-end reports. One of the biggest misconceptions, I think, is that oftentimes employers don't really realize or don't maybe understand that in your reports you contain a copy of each employee's W-2. If an employee loses their W-2 that we send out via mail, they do have a copy in their Hub account, so hopefully they're utilizing that Hub account, in which case they're more than welcome to jump in there and grab that. However, if they're not utilizing a Hub account or don't have access, we are not the only, we do charge for reprints, and you know, that is just because obviously the forms that we're printing on every time when we have to reprint, it does cost us as well. So we charge for reprints. However, if your employees come to you and they say, hey, I've lost my W-2 and I need a new one, you guys do have copies of them in those year-end reports that you're able to just print out, excuse me, on normal paper and give it to them. For tax purposes, it doesn't matter. They don't need to have it on the fancy form. They just need to be able to have the information so that they can plug it in or turn it into their CPA for tax purposes. What we're going to go over today is kind of a plethora of reports here. Yours may look a little bit different, and excuse me, I am choking a little bit here. All right. So what we'll go through is going to look, you know, could be very similar to what you see. It could be a little bit different. I'm also going to go through two different ways to obtain those reports. Some of you use Hub, some of you use PPX to obtain certain reports. You can use them both. It doesn't really matter, and we'll kind of go through where to get those on both sides. When do I receive my reports? So anytime we process year-end reports, we get all the W-2s done, the W-3, the 940s, 941s, quarter four returns. All of that is usually sent out the first couple of weeks of January, and it really just depends on your processing. So it could be that you ended up having some changes that needed to be made at the end of the year, and so, you know, your returns or your information might be pushed out just a little bit later. So it really just depends on how late in the year we were processing changes. Electronic copies, again, are delivered to Hub and PPX. If you're not familiar with PPX, it's our online payroll system, and hopefully you can get your access if you don't have it already. This is where a lot of the reports can be pulled out individually rather than a chunk of reports that are sent to your Hub account, which most of you probably see, you know, both sides of that too. But when they get sent out and copies get pushed out, they're oftentimes combined into one file for downloading, and that's usually done through Hub. However, you can log into your PPX browser, pull up your reports, and grab them individually. So we'll go over that as well. And then obviously year-end reports are titled year-end 2018. It's not going to show up as fourth quarter. It may not read, you know, 941 or 940. It can be confusing. But again, once you jump in there and pull those individual reports, it does tend to get a little bit easier for you to understand. So easiest way is just to download them and then kind of sift through them as well. And I always recommend downloading a copy. Leaving it up to, you know, leaving them on one place and not having them on your computer, it's a web-based program, so you can jump in there at any time and get them. But I always say for your own sake too, it's probably good to download those and put them in a secure file like Dropbox or anywhere on your computer that you house things. Finding the reports. So as an admin in Hub, and we're going to tackle the Hub side before PPX here, but as an admin in Hub, you have extra tabs that your employees don't have. But as an admin in Hub, you also have the same history tab that you and your employees have. The difference is you're going to not only see your payroll reports, your quarterly reports, but you'll also see your pay stub and your history tab as well. So the nice thing is there is a search bar. So if you're looking for specific, quarterly reports, or maybe it's, quarter end reports for something, or maybe it's a specific payroll, there is a search bar. You're more than welcome to type in there what you're looking for, and it'll pull up or sift through the ones that you're going to best be fit to get the report you're looking for. There are 2 sets again of the fourth quarter reports. Download, download, download. We can't recommend this enough. Don't count on this. Yes, they're going to be in there, but there will be a time that they expire, and you just want to make sure that you don't have, 2 years later, you're trying to look for reports from, a couple years ago. You're going to want to make sure that those are saved on your computer somewhere. But this little screenshot here will show you exactly what to do in Hub. Again, click your history tab, type in your search bar, and it'll pull up the information that you're looking for. And then reports in PPX. So again, this is, and we'll have a screenshot here on the next slide. I just wanted to tackle a couple of things while we're in here. But you will always receive an email notification from us to let you know that your reports, are available. Log into your PPX. As a PPX user, you know that you can log into your Hub through PPX, so it is single sign-on. If you do not have an online account, though, you're going to want to log into your Hub account. Excuse me, geez Louise. Obviously, when you're pulling reports from Hub, you're downloading the entire set of reports and not individual reports. However, in PPX, you can pull from a specific report and not necessarily just be left to, sifting through the different reports. So this next slide might help you guys to see that a little bit differently. So in PPX, when you're logged in and you click your reports tab, you'll notice that there is on the left-hand side a section where it says, scheduled with payroll, period end reports. That's where if you click period end, you can see where you can download them. So you can grab just the federal W-2 copy for the employer. You can download your W-3. You can download your 940, your 941. So those can be done individually when you're in your PPX account rather than jumping through your Hub and downloading them all. So that's kind of the biggest difference between PPX and Hub, is that you have that ability to grab them individually in PPX. So again, if you do not have your PPX login information, definitely let us know, because this is probably one of the most popular report features in PPX, is being able to grab those individually. And then again, if you're looking in a web browser, however you're downloading these reports, it is important to make sure that you have a reader for a PDF reader of your choice, obviously. But it'll notate the different report sections with the bookmarks, so it'll make it finding them easier. And what's really nice too is when oftentimes for us, we'll highlight certain things on reports for employees, and we pull them, extract them out of our system, save them as a PDF, and then you're able to kind of highlight things a little bit differently. And it just makes it, if you're sharing these reports with other people within your company, it's nice to be able to highlight where certain totals are. Let's say you have an accounting department that needs to see, your overall payroll nets. Maybe somebody else needs to see the overall tax liabilities. So being able to download them and highlight, definitely makes it easier for sharing capabilities on your side. And then web view versus PDF reader. You can alter things in the web view to include the bookmarks, download them so they're safe. Again, save any changes that you make to them, but you can download them all. So Candace did a really nice job of highlighting some of these different reports and just how you view them. You'll notice that there is a difference between viewing via PDF and via web. And the web, you kind of have to scroll through them. PDF, you can kind of click over on the left-hand side there and grab, jump to that specific one. So, it just makes navigating through it a little bit easier, but regardless of whether it's WebView or PDF, you're able to pull these up and view them for download. And then this is actually something that Candace has always kind of been really good about showing some of us, and some of you may also know this as well, but the find shortcut is going to be a friend for you. I didn't know what I was missing in my life until Candace showed me this, but you may already use it. So again, some of you may be like, hey, Ash, you're way behind the times here, but let's say your CPA needs a certain number. They need your federal Social Security withheld for your employees. If you hit Control F, a search window will appear. And we'll get to the next screen here because she's done a fabulous job of this. Once you hit Control F and you type in, a trigger word for that, so your OASDI withheld, that will take you to exactly where those amounts are. It'll highlight where it is. It'll show where it is. So it's kind of nice to be able to use that to weed through some of these reports and grab the exact totals that you need. EE does mean the employee side. ER on these reports is the employer. It's referencing the employer side of taxes versus the employee side of what was withheld. And then at the bottom of the page is the title of the report, so just pay close attention to that as well. And I think she highlights it on the next slide here that, be very cautious because multiple reports can contain the same phrases. So you just want to make sure you know exactly what you're looking at when you're looking for it and not giving them the incorrect information. So again, use that find function because that will definitely help you bounce around to exactly what you need. And again, it can be a company total. It can be individually what each employee had. So it really, it can be pretty versatile. What's in some of these common reports? So company earnings and tax report is the report that's most commonly used. It contains an itemized breakdown of gross earnings. It has pays, deductions, memos, which can be matches for 401k, along with the state and federal taxes. So this is a pretty big, your earnings and tax report's a pretty big and most common one that we see. And then the employee earnings and tax report is a breakdown by employee of their gross earnings with federal and state tax amounts. Employee summary earnings has their pay, each employee's pay and taxes, deductions, and memos broken down by employee. So if you ever need to know, for one specific employee what their breakdown is, that report would be the one that you would use for that. Again, it has your W-2 copies for your employees. So that's your employer copy of the W-2s, which you're, again, able to give to your employees. These are just for your records because we submit these on our side for you. Same thing with the W-3. That's just for your records. We submit that. Your federal 941 and 940, your tax returns, things like that. Again, these are what a breakdown of everything that's been withheld and what's been submitted for taxes. But again, we do that from our side. And then your UCI quarterly reports are wages paid per employee, premiums owed, and you can locate that on your UI rate, or locate, your UI rate on that report. Tips for saving yourselves from headaches. Download. So download those reports for viewing, for ease, for sending, for highlighting, all of that fun stuff. If your CPA or bookkeeper is asking for a specific amount, rate, title, again, this way you can send it, use that Control F, quickly locate the number and get that to them. Double check the titles of the reports to make sure you're in the right section. Again, because these terms are thrown out so much through all these reports, just double check to make sure you've got the right one. And then, keep in mind, report requests can take up to a week to get them. If you need a specific report, you can jump in and grab it. Otherwise, you can email that request. Just keep in mind, it may be a little delayed in getting to you. And then the best tip of all, if your CPA, bookkeeper, accountant, if they're not listed currently as a report recipient for you, get us their information and let us know so we can get them listed. What that means is that they'll automatically receive the reports every single payroll. They can jump in and get whatever information they need without coming to you and having you have to sift through it. And it saves them time, it saves you time. And it's just easier. A lot of, CPAs will like to get those reports and get their hands on those reports, and they can get through them quicker than you probably could trying to locate it. So definitely let us know if your CPA is not currently listed as a report recipient for you. Let us know and we'll get them added. And that takes care of the webinar today. I know we covered a lot of information and reports, some of which you probably know and some of which you may not have known exactly where to look, but hopefully at the end of this you found that you at least know where to go and how to find things, but also, most importantly, we're here for any questions that you guys have on those reports. So if you feel like you need a more in-depth training on reports, or you just need somebody to kind of sit down and walk you through them, reach out. We'll definitely get some time set to do that with you. But hopefully, again, this webinar has been able to give you some information about those reports and just where to go overall to find them. So I don't see any questions have come through yet. Again, my contact info is right there on the screen. Please feel free to reach out with any questions you have. I'd be happy to address them individually. And if not, I will go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week. And we do have some other webinars that are going to be staggered in between our main webinars now, and that's just going to be highlighting some different features that we might have that maybe don't need a full webinar, but something fun for you guys to tune into. So keep a lookout for those and make sure you get registered. And again, any questions you guys have, please reach out to us. Hope you have a great rest of your day and week.